awakened. It's always been there in the background. I think for most people it is either conscience or the spark of intuition. That's how it comes into most people's life. There is this conscience, this light that they can refer to. Because please remember, you can't see anything without light. You see the world of illusion through the reflected light of the ego. This apparent world that we live in. It's not actually the world we live in, but it's the world that we have, our mind and our ego create, that we apparently live in. And you see the real world through the real light of the self. It's quite a different light. I think St. Paul, he talks about, now you see through a glass darkly, then you shall see face to face. Now you know in parts, then you shall know even as you are known. It is part of the light of the self that in that light you are known for your real self. A very beautiful experience. I'm sure many of you have had that. And it's one of the esoteric things that happens when you meet a teacher or you meet your teacher. You are, for the first time often in your life, known for your real self. What actually happens is the light of the teacher sees you as you really are. You can't see your real self in the distorted light of the ego. And the ego, as you know, works in duality. It always sees good and bad, light and dark, yes and no. It has comparisons. That's how the ego functions. It's judging all the time. Even in the classic thing of the strawberry, is this strawberry that I'm tasting now, is it as good as the last strawberry I tasted? Is it really the best strawberry? Is it who knows what? And so the actual experience of the strawberry, that pure sweetness, is never experienced. But traditionally, when you meet a teacher, you are known as you really are. It is an extraordinary moment. It is something, there is this recognition. This often comes through the eyes of the teacher, and many people have an experience of a light coming from the eyes of the teacher. And in that light you are seen. This is the light of the self, the light of what is real that sees what is real. Now, as I say, traditionally there is this moment in the destiny of the soul when through grace, good fortune, maybe pure chance, I doubt it, but the light is woken up again. Maybe you meet somebody, you read a book. It happened to me when I was 16 and I read this Zen koan. The wild geese do not intend to cast their reflection. The water has no mind to receive their image. It woke me up. Suddenly a light shone and I saw the world completely differently after that. Completely different world. I was still at English boarding school. But it was this unbelievable joy, this light. I can see it even now, the light dancing off the water in the river Thames that ran by my boarding school. It was completely different. It was the same but completely different because the light of the self was present. Now, this is of course a moment of grace. It's just given to us. This moment of awakening. And then there is the whole concern, what do you do then? I suppose there are two schools of thought. One says, you just let it happen. This is, if you like, very, very pure Zen, which I studied for a while. It says, even to do any practice is an imposition of something unnatural onto a completely natural phenomena. You should just let it be because it is. It belongs to that pure, uncontaminated dimension of yourself, your real natural self, and it is. I remember trying that for a while very, very intensely, and was actually coupled at the time with some teachings of Krishnamurti that come from a similar place. It didn't really work. So the other school of thought says, then if you haven't found a teacher already, you look for a teacher, you look for a path. And if you find a teacher and you find a path, then you embark upon the practices of the path. And then begins the journey of the soul. Until then you had the journey of the ego, the journey of the personality. But traditionally at that moment then it's called the second birth. The soul wakes up again in this life, and then you begin the journey of the soul. The journey back to God, back to the source, back to the face you had before you were born. Now, what most people don't realize when they do the practices on the path, when they develop their awareness, whatever the path it doesn't matter which path it is, they're all designed really for the same purpose, is that these practices are helping you to develop your light. You may think you are sitting in meditation trying to still the mind, you are being conscious of the breath, you are doing these practices of awareness. Yes, that is how it appears from the perspective of the ego and the physical body that you bring to the experience or to the mind. But underneath, behind the scenes, what almost all these practices are doing is they are making your light brighter. And you can see that very, very clearly on the inner planes, those who can have access to see things on the inner planes, because the more a human being works on themselves, the brighter their light shines. The more that light of the self, that light of what is real, it shines more and more brightly. And it's very, very beautiful. You can see it in the eyes in this world. That's probably the most direct experience. That's why it is said the Prophet, peace be upon him, loved perfume and beautiful women and the shining of eyes in prayer. When a human being prays and looks towards God, turns towards the divine inside of them, then that light shines through them. It is the light of pure awareness. It is the light of the divine. It is incredibly beautiful. It is, and it grows. It grows and grows and grows. This is the development of the light body of the human being. This is, in a way, seen from the inner world, this is one of the primary functions of all spiritual practice. You know, it appears through meditation you're learning to still the mind. Yes, but why? So the mind does not interfere. So the light that is within you can shine through. And you do this for many, many, many years. You work on your light grows. It is really the cornerstone of much, much spiritual work. And then there is, combined with this, a very, very mysterious process, which the Sufis call light upon light. Light rises towards light, and light comes down upon light, and it is light upon light. As you work upon your own self, and again, it doesn't matter what practices you do, it's the intention behind that matters. Your light grows, and it also attracts to itself another light, which is, if you like, the light of your divine potential that is waiting for you to be lived. It's waiting for you. For most people, this is the light they meet at the end of the tunnel after they die. Many people have had near-death experiences of that. It's the light of their spiritual self they meet after they die. If you're interested in spiritual life here in this world, if you're interested in mysticism, you want to live it here now. You don't want to wait till after you die. You want to live that light here in this world. And so you claim it. It comes to meet you. It's a very, very beautiful process. You work on yourself and you magnetically attract into this incarnation, even into the physical body. The physical body even changes. The cells in the physical body start to spin at a different frequency because they have this light. It actually attracts new, different physical cells to your body because you need new cells to be able to bear that light. As your spiritual self changes, you have to live a certain light in the world, and you need a different physical body to do it. So your light will attract to it different physical cells. I think that the cells change every 7 years, I'm not quite sure.